Let's go ahead and send it down to the Jedi Council chambers for Master or Apprentice.
Welcome to Master or Apprentice. In this segment, we will be going over your hot takes and deciding whether we agree or we disagree with them. If you want your hot take submitted, go ahead and throw it down in the comments below or throw it in our Discord server, link in the description, with increased odds for channel members, of course. And with that, we'll get into the first hot take here, submitted by Woo. His hot take is Count Dooku was closer to the true meaning of a Jedi than his peers. Now, this I will agree to it to an extent because I do
Mm-hmm.
think that Dooku was definitely closer to the true meaning of a Jedi, but he did overstep some boundaries in Tales of the Jedi. Using the dark side a little bit with that one senator. Um, and I think Qui-Gon is closer than Count Dooku is. That's my personal opinion. I think
Yeah.
Qui-Gon is closer to the true meaning of a Jedi than Count Dooku is, but I do think that Count Dooku is pretty close. What are you feeling like, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, is there a discussion to be had?
Of
Of
course.
course. But I think it just, when you really just take it at face value of what they do, I think it's pretty obvious that the choice would be Qui-Gon or even Kanan. I
Kanan is a
think
good.
those two choices are probably just the step above Count Dooku. I could see the reason for the thought, though.
Yeah, for sure.
What like I feel like had the council been more open to things that he was doing, he he wouldn't have turned like he did. Because you see those little glimpses of him like maybe taking things a little too far, but even past that, he gets to the point where he goes over and starts working with Darth Sidious. Like
Yeah, that's
you
he
got to
stepped over
draw
the
the line
line,
somewhere.
and he stepped over the line.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a fully understandable take, but I also I also see that there's a flaw in the logic. I would definitely go with Qui-Gon or Kanan over Dooku, but Dooku's close though. It's
He is.
just
Yeah, like you said, there is an argument for Dooku. He's definitely really close. But also, like you said, we gotta draw the line, and well, he stepped over that line by
yes.
joining Sidious. So can't fully agree with it, but I see the reasoning. I see the argument. So Wu, I'm so sorry, but we do not grant you the rank of master. Phenomenal hot take, though. Round of applause.
Yes,
That was a
round of
great
applause
hot
for
take.
Wu. He's gonna
We
he's
love it.
gonna get granted the rank of master one of these days.
Yeah, he's always bringing the fire hot takes.
Yeah,
So.
he's bringing good ones,
Hmm.
and that's the thing is a good hot take isn't always gonna be picked. Like it isn't
That's
always
true.
gonna be agreed with. That's the
Yep.
point of a hot take. Just the fact that it needs to be a good one. So that's what we like to see. But to get into our second hot take, this one actually comes in from Mark, and he says Star Killer or Galen Merrick needs to stay in Legends and not enter the canon universe. I mean, I could say outright that I do agree with this. The thing is, I could understand them wanting to bring him into canon, like seeing the positives of it. You could, because the thing is, I feel like if you bring him in, you definitely can't have the same type of story for him his story isn't going to be the same as it is in Legends. And I think it's tough to have an apprentice for Vader. You know,
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. I think it makes perfect sense for that time period of Vader and Palpatine ruling. For now, since we have the Inquisitors, for that to be it. Like, Vader doesn't need an apprentice. It's Vader has, from what we've seen, doesn't have any sort of thought of overthrowing Palpatine. So I don't think there's much of a reason for Vader to have an apprentice, but for Starkiller to somehow make his way into canon, could I see it? Yeah. Is it necessary? No. So that's why I would say I agree with it, is the fact that it's not something that needs to happen, and not something that would be easy to do either, because you would definitely mess up a lot of people's perception of him because of what he does in Legends. You'd have to severely nerf him, which is what a lot of people say, and I fully agree with that. So, Mark, this is your hot take, so I'll let you take the floor and say what you want to say as well.
Yeah, man, I agree with everything you just said. My main thing with it is it would just completely take away from his story.
Mm-hmm.
His story of being Vader's apprentice, but then eventually like overcoming that and actually doing something good and helping to essentially start the rebellion almost.
Mm-hmm.
Um was great. So you obviously could not do that because Padme kind of got the ball rolling on that a little bit early on, so you couldn't really implement that. And like you said, Vader had no plans to overthrow the Emperor, so that wouldn't work as well. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to see him as an Inquisitor. I don't.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just it would not, in my opinion, it doesn't work. It wouldn't work. His power is gonna be significantly nerfed. I I say significantly nerfed, but he's still like, I believe his force level was like on the level of Obi-Wan or something if he was going to be canon,
Mm-hmm.
which is still powerful, obviously. Um but it would just completely take away from his Legends story in my opinion. I thought his story was great in Legends. And I don't know, there's just a part of me that does not. I mean, obviously you have Sam Witwer, he could play Starkiller, Galen Merrick. He could play him in a live action show,
That's what I was gonna
which
say. Was I think that would be the coolest thing about him being live action, is the fact that Sam Witwer would actually be able to play him in live action. But that's
yeah,
the
no,
only thing that would be super cool to me, in my opinion.
yeah, no, I that's kind of what I was gonna say. That would be super cool, but other than that, I think his character should just kind of be kept to the Force Unleashed universe. I wish they would have made a third one to round out its story, but they didn't. But that's another
Yeah.
topic for another video. So that's kind of my thought process on this hot take that I gave.
Okay. Well, Mark, you did this on the last Master Apprentice with me, but I will address you directly, Mark. I do grant you the rank of Master. I think it's. Is it much of?
Go.
I don't think it's a crazy hot take. I think
Yeah,
a
no, it's
lot of
not like.
people
Mm,
do agree with the fact that he shouldn't be canon, but there's plenty of people that would just be like, I don't care, do it anyway. And I think you got to have some sense to it. So I do agree with the hot take.
yeah, that's kind of why I brought it up because there's a lot of people that want to see him in because like I've seen more of it on Twitter as the time goes on. I see people mention him and wanting to see him, but I think he should just be left in Legends. So now to get into our final hot take here for this segment, submitted by Klogot. Mon Mothma shouldn't exist, and Padme should have taken her role. Now this one's actually an interesting one because
That's just a harsh way to word it as well. Just
yeah,
Mon Mothma shouldn't exist altogether.
that is yeah, it's just like what, Mon Mothma, I don't like your character.
Mm-hmm.
Padme should have been there. Um, well, yeah, no, it's an interesting take because I haven't heard anybody say this, and
Hmm.
it's kind of intrigued me because obviously like Padme was a super notable figure in the Republic, and she could have been that for the rebellion as well. But I also think that the torch should be passed to somebody else in the sense as well. And I think Mon Mothma fits the role great. In Ahsoka, her being the Chancellor is awesome. She just fits that role so perfectly, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I love seeing her there, and I think Padme not being there also is impactful to Anakin's story as well. If Padme lived, I feel like the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker wouldn't be as significant as what it is. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. What do you how you feeling about this one, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, you really hit all the points. It's I don't know. Maybe I can understand it in a sense, but it's just to me, Padme. Like, I think Klogot would not have this strong of an opinion on this if the deleted scenes of Revenge of the Sith were included, where Padme is essentially starting the rebellion.
Yeah.
If those were left in, which I mean, it's still canon that she did that. It's just
Yeah.
not shown. Uh, I think if those were left in, people would have a different viewpoint on it. But yeah, Padme and people have brought up like how there was an alternate, not ending, but an alternate. I'm gonna say ending to Revenge of the Sith, where when Padme goes to Mustafar, she actually had the intent of killing Anakin or trying to kill him to stop everything. But I think that's also out of Padme's character.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't I don't think it would have worked out with her surviving or even lasting any sort of bit longer to play a large role in as the rebellion's actually happening, because she plays a large role in it starting. But I think Mon Mothma is the perfect figure to lead the rebellion at that point, and like you you see a lot of character growth with Mon Mothma in Andor, and see the sacrifices that she's willing to do for the rebellion, and I think that makes her perfect for it. So yeah, it's definitely it's interesting to think about, but it's just not something I can agree with. I'm the biggest Padme fan there is, and I'd love to see her more. Because if she's the leader of the rebellion, then we'd see her in the Mon Mothma role there is now. But
Yeah.
it just, for story purposes, it just wouldn't work in my opinion. So I think it's perfect how it is. So unfortunately, I can't agree with the hot take.
Yeah, no, Andor really did a lot for Mon Mothma's character for sure. I forgot to hit on that point, so I'm glad you did. But Klogot, I'm so sorry. Logan's so sorry as well. But we do not grant you the rank of master.
Round of
I like
applause to Klogot.
I say this about everyone, but I actually do like this one. This one definitely gets you thinking for sure about what like alternate possibilities. Like what if this happened? What if this character survived?
Yeah,
Like
I mean
interesting to think about.
that brings up the thought of if they should do a what if series, which that's
That's
a
true.
discussion for another time. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
stuff like that is interesting to think about.
Mm. Well, thank you guys for your hot takes. Those ones were really good. If you want your hot take submitted for the next Master or Apprentice, throw it down in the comments below or throw it in our Discord server, link in the description. If you guys agreed with any of these hot takes, go ahead and let us know down in the comments as well. And with that, we'll send you back to the boys in the studio.